Santa Claus Doesn't Mop Floors, Chapter 9, Ho, Ho, Ho. Don't you think it's weird? Melody asked Eddie the next morning. What? Eddie asked. That Mr. Jolly knew you wanted the whipped cream to look like snow, Howie said. I'll tell you something else that's weird, Liza said. The food drive box was filled with cans of whipped cream. They were all gathered around the water fountain the next morning. Eddie wasn't green anymore. I'm telling you, Liza insisted, he's Santa Claus. She may be right, Melody agreed. After all, have you ever heard of anybody named Jolly before? And his initials are SC, Howie added. Eddie kicked the wall. SC probably just stands for sour cabbage, he grumbled. I won't believe he's Santa Claus until I see him fly through the sky in his sleigh. Maybe we better be careful, just in case, Liza suggested. In case he really is Santa Claus, Howie agreed. I do want lots of presents for Christmas, Melody added. You guys have slush for brains, Eddie interrupted. I know Mr. Jolly isn't Santa Claus, and I'm going to prove it. How? They all asked together. I'm going to follow him home after school, Eddie said. What will that prove? Howie asked. When you see the dump Mr. Jolly lives in, it'll prove he's just an ordinary fat person. Anybody who's not a chicken will come with me, Eddie dared. That afternoon, Eddie and Howie hid in the bathroom when the last bell rang. We've got to figure out a way to watch Mr. Jolly without seeing us, Eddie said. That'll be impossible if he really is Santa Claus, Howie said. Eddie rolled his eyes. Come on, he said. Let's wait in the oak tree until he leaves. Then we can follow him. Howie grabbed Eddie's arm. Don't we need to find Melody and Liza? Nah, Eddie said. They went home. I knew they'd be too chicken. Howie and Eddie sneaked out of the building and into the freezing wind. Oh, it's colder than a penguin's nose out here, Eddie complained. We'll freeze if we stay here until Mr. Jolly gets finished. It'll take him a long time to clean this whole building, Howie whined. Do you want to find out the truth or not? Eddie snapped. Not if it means turning into an abominable snowman, Howie said, shivering. Shut up and climb the tree, Eddie ordered. The two boys sat on the icy branches and waited. Howie's toes didn't have time to get cold. With a jingling of keys, Mr. Jolly came out of the building. He carried a big bag slung over his shoulders. Howie elbowed Eddie in the ribs. Look, he's carrying a big bag of toys. Both boys watched as Mr. Jolly tossed the huge bag into the trash bin. No, Frost Face, it was only garbage, Eddie whispered. Mr. Jolly took a deep breath and patted his bulging stomach. He lit his pipe and then jingled his keys again, as if by magic. A bright red sports car sped up. The driver was so short he could barely see over the steering wheel, but the boys knew who it was as soon as they saw his green hat and his pointy black beard. It was Eli. Eli backed the shiny red car into the space in front of Mr. Jolly. That's when Howie noticed it. He jabbed Eddie and pointed. Even Eddie was speechless. For once, as he read the license plate in green letters, it said, Ho, ho, ho.